Briefing content. On November 27, 2024, President-elect Donald Trump announced a series of new trade policies. He plans to impose tariffs of 25% and 10% on goods imported from Canada, Mexico, and China. This policy will have a significant impact on Maine's economy, as Canada is the state's largest trading partner, accounting for 70% of its imports and 31% of its exports. Trump stated that these tariffs will remain in place until the issues of drugs and illegal immigration are resolved. He also plans to deploy military and police forces to detain and deport 11 million illegal immigrants currently in the U.S. This is a massive operation that involves numerous practical challenges, such as how to locate these individuals, where to detain them, and how to secure the acceptance from their home countries. Business leaders and politicians in Maine have reacted differently to this announcement. Some support Trump's protectionist policies, believing they will help alleviate local economic pressures. However, others are concerned that this could lead to higher costs for consumers and damage the deeply integrated economic relationship with Canada. Maine's congressional and state representatives have previously supported such trade policies, but some scholars point out that this contradicts their desire for greater market access. Overall, Trump's policies will undoubtedly have a profound impact on the economic landscape of Maine and the entire U.S., sparking widespread attention and discussion. Briefing on November 27, 2024, new developments from the Trump team. 1. Trump's advisors are discussing how to unilaterally strip federal resources from Democratic-controlled cities that refuse to participate in the deportation of illegal immigrants. They plan to use methods such as withholding federal funds to compel these sanctuary cities to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement actions. 2. The Trump administration is also considering authorizing criminal prosecutions against non-compliant state and local governments. Former White House advisor Steve Bannon stated that Trump will relentlessly reclaim federal funds and may initiate criminal prosecutions. 3. This policy could provoke serious confrontations between the Trump administration and elected leaders across the country. Cities like Chicago, Denver, and San Francisco heavily rely on federal funding, but their leaders are also critics of Trump, vowing to protect local illegal immigrants. 4. Trump has nominated 2 experienced officials to join his economic team, including Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. This reflects Trump's recognition that his reputation may depend on whether he can restore public confidence in the economy. 5. Overall, the Trump administration is taking a hardline approach against sanctuary cities, which could lead to intense conflicts between federal and local governments. At the same time, Trump is assembling an economic team, hoping to stimulate economic recovery through tax cuts and trade policies. These developments will be key areas of focus during Trump's second term. Briefing on the results of the 2024 U.S. presidential election, Trump re-elected. Trump secured 312 electoral votes in the 2024 presidential election, defeating Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, who garnered 226 electoral votes, successfully winning re-election. Although Trump did not achieve over 50% of the national popular vote, he still won the presidency with a slightly higher vote count than Harris. This makes him the first Republican presidential candidate to win the national popular vote since 2004. Some social media users incorrectly claimed that Trump did not win the national popular vote. In fact, to win the national popular vote, a candidate only needs to receive the most votes, not necessarily over 50%. In addition to Trump and Harris, Green Party candidates Jill Stein and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also received over 750,000 votes each. This resulted in both Trump and Harris failing to secure over 50% of the national popular vote. In summary, although Trump did not achieve over 50% of the national popular vote, he successfully won re-election as President of the United States with 312 electoral votes, thanks to victories in key swing states. Briefing on November 27, 2024, Trump's new round of tariff threats against China. Main points. 1. Trump has once again threatened to impose a 10% tariff on Chinese goods and a 25% tariff on products from Canada and Mexico, citing the need to combat illegal immigration and drug crime. 2. China has already taken measures to Trump-proof its economy, reducing its reliance on trade with the U.S. In 2023, China's exports to the U.S. fell by 20% to $427 billion. China is shifting its focus to other markets in Europe, Latin America, and increasing manufacturing investments in Southeast Asia, Europe, and Latin America. 3. China may leverage American companies operating in China, such as Tesla, to influence the Trump administration to ease its policies towards China. In retaliation, China may also withdraw preferential policies for companies like Tesla. 4. The manufacturing sector in Hong Kong is prepared to respond to the new round of tariff measures and will further pivot towards new markets in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Chinese state media has also criticized Trump for politicizing the fentanyl issue. 5. Experts believe that even if Trump is re-elected, his tariff policies may be difficult to replicate fully, as U.S. trading partners are already prepared for such measures. However, trade frictions will persist, creating uncertainty for both the U.S. and Chinese economies. Briefing on November 27, 2024, broad support for Trump's cabinet picks. Main points. 1. According to surveys from multiple polling organizations, the majority of Americans support Trump's performance during the transition period and his cabinet nominations. Most voters, including independents, express approval of Trump's cabinet choices. 2. Polls indicate that Americans support Trump's policy agenda, including tax cuts, large-scale deportations of illegal immigrants, and the construction of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Most believe that the country will begin to move in a better direction under Trump's leadership. 3. However, there are some issues surrounding Trump's cabinet nominations, such as concerns about security risks and controversies involving certain nominees. Senate Republican leaders have indicated they will expedite confirmation hearings, but Democratic lawmakers are worried about the lack of necessary background checks. Overall, Trump's cabinet nominations have garnered widespread public support, but careful scrutiny will be needed during the confirmation process to ensure the appropriateness and safety of the nominees. This will be an important topic as Trump begins his second term.